Good day. My name is Silas Brown. What do you think when you hear the word military? Well, maybe you think of hard work, or maybe you think of airplanes, or perhaps you think of the Navy SEALs and their special operations, or maybe you just think of the danger. Whatever it is you think concerning the military, it is generally true that most people wish to remain civilians. But why is that? Why is it that people want to avoid the military if it has good qualities and normally increases your work ethic? I believe it would be beneficial for you, your country, and your family for you to join the military for at least 4 years, but more specifically the United States Coast Guard. The first reason is it can reduce your debt. You see, the United States Coast Guard has what is called the GI Bill. It is a bill which will pay for up to 4 years of college to a degree. According to military.com, quote, Coast Guard tuition assistance assists eligible personnel in their professional development by providing funding for off-duty voluntary education, courses to broaden their academic or Coast Guard technical background. The current payment rates are the 75% tuition is the maximum amount paid for tuition assistance, not to exceed $250 at semester credit hour, or $166.67 at quarter credit hour, and $4,000 at fiscal year. So, if the Coast Guard pays for college up to a certain amount, as I just read, then why not join? Well, maybe you can't afford to make the trip to basic training, which is in Cape May, New Jersey. Well, that would be a good argument, a good counter-argument to that. But the Coast Guard will pay for it's an all-expenses-paid trip to New Jersey in order to be trained for the Coast Guard. While at basic training, which is in New Jersey, and the thing that you were being paid, that your all expenses paid trip was to, you are paid for 8 weeks of training, working, free food, and sleeping, which I think sounds pretty good. But after you leave, the financial benefits don't end. When you go to a station, if there isn't the option for what is called Coast Guard housing, which is simply housing that was built for the crew at the station, then there is what is called housing allowance. This housing allowance will pay for, in certain areas the amount is different, your rent. Up to a certain amount, again. The military doesn't have an endless supply of money. But just about. While you are in the stations that you're having this housing allowance or Coast Guard housing, your superiors will keep you busy and make sure that you work effectively, which will also increase your work ethic, which is another good reason to join. The Coast Guard will increase your work ethic, or it should, if you allow it to. When you join the Coast Guard and enter basic training, the officers and higher-ranking officials will try to make sure you do everything effectively. And get it done. But you shouldn't just be doing it because you want to get it done. you wouldn't be doing it to your as good as you could. Pardon me. What you have to remember, if you're a Christian, is you're not doing this just for yourself or for your country or to impress people. You are doing it according to Romans 15:6, that ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. So, according to the Bible, Paul, and God, we are to do everything so that we may glorify God. And if we aren't doing our best at the tasks given to us by men, then we are not glorifying God. Because other people might be seeing us and saying, that guy's a Christian? He doesn't work very hard. His God probably isn't very good, because he isn't a good worker either. And besides that, if we aren't working hard at the tasks given us by men, then how is God going to expect us, how are we expected to work hard at the tasks given us by God? We're going to start with the small things and work your way up. After you remember that you are doing these things to glorify God, your work ethic should improve. And after you leave the Coast Guard, sorry, not after you leave the Coast Guard, while you're in the Coast Guard and doing even the most menial tasks, you should be able to do a great job at it, or the best you can, and improve because you're trying to glorify God. But how can we have a good work ethic without discipline? Another thing the United States Coast Guard does is increases our discipline. You see, the basic training officers will discipline you in order that you will be able to run the equipment at the stations and on the boats. You see, you have to be disciplined in order to work out, right? And gain strength. If you're not disciplined, you're probably not going to be doing very much. So the basic training officers will make sure that you are working out and training in order that you can run the equipment at stations. They will see to it that you are in top shape to fill out the tasks required of an enlisted man or woman. But they discipline. They make sure that you're working, and this discipline will leak out into other parts of your life. It won't just be in the Coast Guard that you'll feel really disciplined, because if you are disciplined in one area, then you might not be disciplined in another area. But it's more likely that if you're disciplined in an area that you're working in a lot, then you're going to be disciplined in other areas, such as keeping a house clean. Or, after you leave the Coast Guard, if you join a trade, such as, say, plumbing, you could be disciplined as a plumber. You could go to a house that has problems with your pipes, maybe it's leaking or they're frozen, and some other person might go there and pull it apart and then put it back together so that it's not working to its best, as good as it could. But you, since you were in the Coast Guard and received discipline and a good work ethic, which you can get elsewhere, but it helps if you join the Coast Guard, then you would take the pipe, take it apart, examine it, fix it, and then try to make sure that it doesn't happen again for at least a while. that's one way that it can be used outside the Coast Guard. Your discipline. In the Coast Guard, you would be able to work on the equipment and be able to actually save people when you go out on cases, which is what they call the missing persons, missing people, and broken down boats. Someone's boat breaks down out in the ocean, and they call it a case. Then when you go out, you can be ready faster because you're disciplined and you have all your stuff ready and organized. And when you get out there, if there's someone in the water and they have to be pulled in, your discipline allowed you to work out, probably, enhancing your strength. And then you could pull the person into the boat, saving them, and showing just how disciplined you are. This discipline does leak out in other parts of your life, such as parenting. If you're disciplined, then you'll discipline your children. Not punish, discipline. Show them why they're wrong and how they're wrong. And you'll do it in a way that's wise. Probably. There are many reasons, as you can see, why you could join the Coast Guard and why it's a good idea to join the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard offers many areas of development. This branch of the military, for serving for just a short time, will pay for 4 years of college tuition. During your career, it will pay for your housing, that is, if you choose to rent, to an extent. Pardon me. Again. Not only does it have financial benefits, but also it will increase your work ethic. It will cause you to think through why you are doing something and the negative and positive consequences of your actions. Also, the training in the basic training, should enhance your ability to glorify God due to our disciplinary increase. The officers at boot camp, which is basic training, and your superiors at stations will keep you in shape so you can effectively run the equipment. When you leave the United States Coast Guard, the military discipline can be put into practice in all other areas of your life. Of course, with some refinement. Thank you. I hope you have a good day. It has been a pleasure to speak with you.